everyone, and welcome back to the show. I am super grateful to have you here. You are all so amazing. So, do you want to get into real estate? Most importantly, do you want to get into multifamily? If you want to get into multifamily, then this particular podcast is for you, because I'm going to talk to you about some mindset things that you have to have in order to jump in really to anything, but particularly into multifamily. So I want to talk to you about patience, partnerships, persistence, and practice, and not necessarily in that order. Patience, partnerships, persistence, and practice. Let's start with partnerships first. In anything you do, you need to make those key partnerships that are going to level you up. Of course, you have to bring value to these partnerships. You have to bring the value and the knowledge and the education that you already have. So if we're talking about large multifamily or anything in real estate, yes, you can bring whatever knowledge that you might have in real estate to the table, but also think about your life studies, the things that you have already gone through, the knowledge that you already have. Bring that to the table, bring you to the table. What can you bring to a partnership, bring to a relationship, whatever it is, dive deep and figure out what you can bring to a partnership and make those partnerships that will take you to the next level. We'll come back to that though, because partnerships are super key. Next, it's practice. Get educated. Whatever you do, you need to get educated. You need to know how it is that you are going to jump into whatever venture that you are trying to jump into. So if it's large multifamily, you need to get educated. Yes, listen to the podcast, get those books, go into communities, ask questions, but above all, you need to get educated. You need to jump into either a program. Yes, you can do YouTube University. You can read all the books and listen to all the podcasts. And I absolutely am sure that you'd be able to source enough education to get you started. But if you want to have access is the word I was looking for. If you want to have access to minds that have already done what you are looking to do, yes, you can listen to all the podcasts that Jason and I have on the internet, all the content that we've put out, any of our peers that are doing the same thing. Yes, you can find their podcasts and all the content that they've put out. But if you want access, then you need to jump into those educational programs that are going to get you the access that you can use to jumpstart, to hockey puck your way to success, getting that access, and above all, practicing. So once you get into these programs, you need to go all in, or don't do it. Go all in, put as much as your energy that you can into these educational programs that you jump into, or you're just going to be jumping from one to another, thinking that you're not getting the information that you need. Chances are the information is there. If you have looked into the people that you are jumping in with, if you've looked into the educational program, and if you've gotten the information that's right in front of you, now you have to practice. When you get into multifamily, it's not something that you're just going to get. It's not something that's just, you're going to have like a simple one-page answer for everything. This asset class requires experience, requires that you look at the underwriting and you keep on looking at the underwriting. No matter what spreadsheet you get your hands on, you will need to become very proficient at it and know what you're looking for, know what the terms mean, know what the numbers mean, and what that could mean for your investors. So once you jump into something, practice and keep on practicing it. Make a way that you can daily look at what you're practicing, eke out at least an hour or two a day. If you can. I understand a lot of us have 9 to 5s or other things or family commitments that you have to get to, but you can make the time. I promise you, you can make the time. Wake up earlier, stay up later, whatever you need to do to get it done. With a caveat, take care of yourself, okay? No matter what, take care of you, because without you, it doesn't matter. If you get sick, if something happens to you because you weren't taking care of yourself, all the practice, all the partnerships, all the persistence, all the patience that you have will go out the window. Okay. So next, and I know some of you all are just thinking, oh, she's saying patience and persistence in the same podcast. Yeah, I love those alliterations. So let's go with patience first. Have patience with yourself. I know, and I've talked to a lot of people who are just like, you know what, I'm jumping into this or that program and I'm doing all these things, but I just can't get it, or I'm not getting those deals, or I'm calling people and they're not calling me back, or ... Be patient. Be patient with yourself. Just simply stressing out about those things, feeling that overwhelm, especially when it has to do with someone else connecting with you to get something done. Be patient. And I'm going to jump into persistence now. Be patiently persistent, especially when it comes to talking to brokers or reaching out to possible investors or whatever it is. If you're trying to get it done, you need to be persistent about it. In fact, I want to shout out a gentleman named Brian. I'm not going to say your last name, but Brian listened to me on the Bigger Pockets podcast, and he reached out because he understood that our current assistant, Alessandra, I now consider her one of our partners. She is the first person that looks at the underwriting, and she tosses it over to Jason and I to get our perspective on it and to really work it out after. But she has long since gone from an assistant to a lieutenant. So this gentleman, Brian, has persistently been emailing me every couple of weeks to see if he can have a conversation about being a possible assistant to Jason and I. Right now, we are not looking for assistance, so please don't email. But because he was persistent and polite and polished, I actually emailed him and I told him, we are not looking for anyone at this point, but because you've been persistent, why don't we hop on a call and see if there's something that we can do, or maybe I know someone. Who knows where that call will go? It's up to him to make the call, make the time, and jump on a call with me. So, but that wouldn't have happened for him if he had not been persistent. He was also polite and he was patient. He was willing to wait. He was willing to see where it went. And he was willing to take that leap into the unknown and reach out to someone that he didn't know, but because he was persistent and patient, he might be able at least to make that relationship through that phone call that might one day lead to a partnership. So patience, having patience and persistence is key to creating those partnerships that you're looking to get in the future. And then having the mindfulness to practice your craft, practice what you are learning, practice and keep on practicing until you get it. And even then, there's always information to be had. That's why real estate is so amazing and so, quote, hard, because it is always growing. It is always changing. There's always market information. There's always things happening in what we are doing. But through these 4, I don't even want to call it steps, 4 thought processes, if you keep on it, you will get what you are searching for. Be patiently persistent, create those partnerships, and practice your craft. So this is Pili. I am super, super excited, super honored and grateful that you have joined me today for this podcast. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Thank you again from someone who practices patience and partnerships and all the P's. This is Pili signing off. Aloha.